There you go. Oh, I like that voice. Um, all right, so we're recording, and this is our last session, and we're going to jump into finding your pictures. So I'm going to now share my screen, I think. Desktop one, share. There we go. Okay. So we can all see that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. I like that. Can I do this? Oh, this is cool. Oh, man, not so much. All right. So this is the finale, the grand finale. We've all of the work we've done so far has a lot of side benefits too. But the basic thing that we're doing is putting our photos in Lightroom in a way that allows us to find them. Because if we can't find them, 39,522 photos are going to be like finding a needle in a haystack. You will never find the photos you want. And it's not always that you want to find one photo. It's usually that you want to find photos of a sunrise, like Betsy's beautiful. That's probably sunset, I guess, in the going west, wouldn't it be? My geography doesn't fail me. So you're looking for sunrises, sunsets, ospreys, whatever it is. You're looking for something. And Betsy and I were just chatting before we get on, and I said it's very different for everybody. Everybody has kind of a theme or a couple of themes that they like to photograph. So you want to really set yourself up in a way that makes it easy to do that. So, for example, if you wanted to do birds, you might start with a keyword that, and we talked about this last time, where you start with animal or even a what, and the first thing is animal, and it nests down to things like mammals and snake, reptiles, and whatever. I forget what you call those things in botany or biology or whatever. I fell asleep during that class, I think. But it's, the phylum of the different animals, and then all the way down to birds. And then from there you go to eagles, hawks, and da 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 da. And that can be very useful, as if you're into birds, because you can say, I just want to see all my birds. I just want to see the eagles. I just want to see hawks or ospreys. And then there are, if you're a bird brain, then you might want to do certain types of hawks or ospreys. So again, it's just picking what you want to photograph and what you're interested in, and kind of focusing on making your hints work for you in that kind of an environment. So we set ourselves up. We've got this wonderful little piece of junk right in front of my screen there, which you can't see, but I can see. Right now I'm in the library. You notice when we set up these folders, we did it with hints, and that works great for me. I have little hints that are, probably less than 50 characters long. I try to keep it small, but it's a hint that allows me to then come into my folders and search this way. I can say, I've done this a million times, so I'm not going to bore you with it too much, but I say kids, and there's all the folders that have the text KIDS in it. So I can see those right away. That's one way to search. You can search by looking at the same way in, and I'm going to go to
Ted, are you sharing your screen?
yes.
Yes, yes.
You can't see that, Ro?
I can't. I still have the four of us on my screen.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, Ro, that you get that. Now what do you get?
Nothing's changed.
Hang on now. That's interesting. Can you refresh your screen or?
I've been trying to, because I thought you said you shared your screen.
Betsy, are you seeing anything different? Are you seeing the four
I'm seeing all of your
photos?
Photos, yeah, your gallery there, whatever.
Yeah, and Tessa, you're seeing the same thing you're seeing my photos, right?
I think Tessa's sound is off.
Oh, Tessa, you get your,
I turned it off because I have a cat here who wants to play and he's meowing.
oh, that's okay, but you should be able to hear him. You should, well, you can hear me. 'cause
I
you
can
answer
hear,
the
I just,
question,
you
so,
won't hear the
good,
cat.
okay, that's fine. Okay, so, all right, well, Ro, I don't want to, you know,
Well, you
hang
could try unsharing and then reshare, and then maybe that'll bring her on.
Sure, let me try that, okay. Stop the share. Okay,
There
we're
we
back to everybody's here. Okay, let me see. I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, that should work.
Yep.
Anything? You got it? Oh, good.
Yep.
Okay, all right, good. Super duper. Okay, so I was saying we can focus, filter on our folders in the with all our photos in it, or we can filter on collections down here, and I could say CUMP, and it shows me things that where they have competition in it, and it's just filtering on that text. So these are little ways, quick ways to do it just within the library. So you say, like I said, I want to look at some pictures with my kids. So I put that in there. If I put in kids on collections, I probably have something. No, I've killed a lot of that stuff. And there's one, grandkids. So it will filter on collections or folders, but I really want to have something that's far more sophisticated and flexible. And so that's when we use, let's get rid of that for a little bit and go down here. Okay, so I want to use the filter bar in Lightroom to help me to search through very quickly and very flexibly and do anything that I want to do, any kind of criterion that I want to add. So let me hit my notes for a second here. So when we look at this, when we're going to look at the filter bar, we already have some things that are given to us, like by the camera. So the camera lens, that's something you could focus on. The camera itself, a Nikon or a Canon, whatever. We can also add keywords to the pictures. So that well, let me go back one second. The metadata that's in the photo is given to us. So you know the how we took the picture in the camera, what you know, all sorts of keywords that come off the camera and are embedded in the photo. But then there are ones that we have to put in ourselves, which we did last time for keywords. So that's where you get the real focused search capabilities. So again, if you're a birder, you're going to have a lot of keywords that focus on birds. If you're landscape, you may be ocean and sky and whatever. But whatever it is that you're interested in, you'll have keywords that are more geared towards that. But all of those are things that we can search on. And so with the filter bar, it's quite cool what we can do. So let's just jump in there. And if you do a backslash, you'll note, oh, well, I've got the bar there.
Ted, I don't see where the filter bar is. I'm sorry. When you share your screen
Yes.
today, it's very tiny to me to find things
Oh,
here.
okay. So it's at the top. I'm going to try to do this and move this kind of out of the way. Yeah, that should work. That should work. Okay. So right now you should be able to see my screen. And when I click on the backslash, you'll watch at the top
Yep.
and nothing happens.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Okay. So now you can see, hopefully, text, attribute, metadata, and none.
Oh, yes, there it is. Yeah.
So the
And it's
reason you
about a
can't
font
see it is
three, yeah.
because I haven't opened up anything really. I will
Oh.
just show you right now. If I click
Yep.
on text, you can do
Mhm.
text search, attribute. It'll show
Ah.
all the flags and things, and metadata. There we go. It opens up even further, so you
Yep,
can do, so
yep.
we're going to talk about all of those.
Good. Okay, I get it now.
All right, so that's how you do it. Now, if I hit backslash again, it all goes away, backslash again, and it comes back. Okay. So the first thing that you got to realize is that you have to tell Lightroom, where do you want to search? Do you want to search? So I'm kind of looking now again to the left where I've got highlight Samsung Lightroom photos, 40,000 photos. If I do anything here, I'm going to search on all 40,000, which is fine. I may want to do that. But what if I just want to search on something that I've done in the past month? Then I'd come down to Q1 of 2025. No, I don't think I have anything in Q2 yet. Bad me. But it's only, what is it, the 5th or something? 6th, 7th. My goodness, it's been a week. I should have 3 things in Q2, right? But anyway, so if I came here and I said, what have I done in the past, 4 or 5 sessions? Well, I can click on those. Now it's only going to select those to look through. Okay. And I think we know how to do that, right? If I click on the bottom one, but I say, gee, because I want to do the last 4, then I go up, I hold the shift key down, click on the 4th one up or the 5th one up, and it selects them all. That means I'm selecting all those to look at. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Stop me with anything, because sometimes I do these things and it's muscle memory. I don't even remember that. Not everybody remembers how to do that. So anyway, now I'm looking at 5 sessions of pictures, and if you look at the bottom, you can see, good Lord, 137 out of 141. Okay. So it's telling you there's 141 photos here, and there's, let's see. Okay. 137. So it's showing 137. I'm not sure why it's not showing that last 4, but if I start looking for that now, oh, I think I know why, but let's ignore that for now. This is how you select what you want Lightroom to search on. Okay. So a lot of times you just want to click on all your photos. Whoops, it's not going to get you to it. There you go. That's all my photos. I'm looking through every single thing. And if I click on a search parameter in, oh, I see what's going on. Okay. So if I select one of these search criterion, it'll search on all of my photos. So if I say text, I can search down here. You can see any searchable field, and I can say, or just select the file name to search. So if I want to just look at the file names of photos, meaning every single photo that you've taken and the name of the file, you can search on that. Copy name. If you've copied something, a photo, whatever the photo copy name is, it'll show you. And to be honest, that's usually just going to be, you're going to say copy. If you type in copy name and it contains copy, C-O-P-Y, you'll know those are photos that you made copies of. I can find that. Big deal. Title, caption, keywords, alt text, that's for visually impaired stuff that we're starting to get into the real kind of code stuff that you're not really too excited about. And the same with the rest of the stuff. Plugin field, anything that got added by sending it over to Topaz, a photo AI, Topaz AI or Photoshop. If they put in any text or in the photo before they send it back to you in Lightroom, you'll find it in there. Bottom line is, mostly it's going to be any searchable field. So it'll look everywhere, at the folder name, at the file name, at the metadata, at all that stuff. So if you're looking for a searchable field, anything that has text in it, that's what you want to do. So usually you're going to be, it contains, meaning it contains say the word is Osprey. Well, you say contains Osprey. In fact, let's just pop that in there. O-S-P-R-E-Y. Okay, so now there's all the photos that contain Osprey. Okay, and down below it'll tell you that there's one selected, but there's 196 photos that have Osprey in it in some searchable field. Okay. Now I could say, what if I wanted to say, come on, you're bugging me. You really are. Get out of there. Contains all. So that means Osprey is in that field. That's the whole field. But usually you're going to say Osprey Bellsneck or Osprey Witchmere Harbor or something like that. It would not contain all. So if I say contains all Osprey, what does it do? Oh, well, let's have a look at that. That was wrong then. I love it when I'm wrong because, then I can explain it. Yeah. So contains all, I'm going to have to check that, but now I believe that what this is doing is says it contains OSPREY as a word. So let me just show you what the difference would be. Okay, now I say, okay. And it still says 196. Well, this thing's just making a complete liar out of me. Oh, contains the word. Ah, okay. So here's one where you say in any searchable field, look for OSPR as a word, meaning there's spaces before and after it. Well, it does not, none of my pictures contain OSPR as a word or OSPRE, but once you hit Osprey, that word is in those photos. If I only had spent like 3 or 4 extra weeks on this, I could have gotten that, tested that all out, and I would have had it. So contains all, I wouldn't suggest you use that because it'll just be confusing. So if you say contains, and then you go back here and you say OSPR. No, that didn't stay, did it? Contains. Okay. See, it does contain OSPR, but it'll get portions of it too. So that works. But most of the time, you really want to say, you do want to leave it at contains, because then it'll pick up anything, even if you spell it wrong. So, if I said, oh, gee, it's Osprey, right? OSPRAY. Say, well, how come I don't have any Ospreys? Well, because you spelled it wrong, knucklehead. But once you just put in OSPR, you say, oh, well, oh, yeah, it must be the E. And so then you figure it out. These are the practice things that you do with these kinds of search criterion. Okay, so I learned something, you learned something today. Don't always listen to Ted is one of the things. You could say starts with, those should all show, it does. And then ends with, well, it's gonna all go away when I say ends with, because it's not gonna end with OSPRE. It might end with, see, if you say ends with SPREY, then it's gonna find all those. And then it finds more with EY because there'll be other things that end with EY. Okay, so, all right. So, but text, searching on text in any searchable field, this is kind of cool because if you put the caption as sunset or something, or you put the title as sunset, it's going to pick those up no matter where it was in all of those searchable fields. Okay, so if you want to limit the number of things that have Osprey in it, for example, just like I did. Okay, now it finds all these, well, 196. I don't want to just do the searchable fields. Let me just do, it's not going to be file name because I don't name any files like that. But maybe the title. Oh boy, that's good. That's great. So I never did that. But maybe if I put keywords, there you go. Now I'm back up to 49. So I keyworded these, but that's only searching the keywords now. It's not searching the title. It's not searching the folder name. It's just searching the keywords. Okay. So you can see how you can limit these things. These are a little bit, it makes things a little bit more complex. I understand that, but it also makes it flexible so that you can limit the number of things that you see. So now I'm looking definitely at only pictures that have Osprey in them.
Ted, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So could you put flying osprey? Would that work?
Well, it would work if I had, okay, so let's see, what would be one that osprey.
Does it have to be a word you've already put in as a keyword, like
It
flying?
does have to be things that you put in as for keywords, yes. But if I said
Okay,
any text, any searchable field. Oh, I don't want ends with. I want to say contains osprey and witchmere. Now you'll notice that it searched for both osprey and witchmere. And if I say contains all, it's going to be much less
mhm,
because you said I wanted to have both osprey and witchmere in it. And as you can see down here, there are 128 photos. Okay. But if I say contains, it goes back up to 259. So if it has osprey but not witchmere, it'll show it. If it has witchmere but not osprey, it'll still show it. So that's why I have more photos there, 259. But so that's interesting if you wanted both osprey or witchmere. But if I said contains all, that would narrow it down to pictures that have both of those in there. So it's going to narrow your search. Okay. So these are things that are great to play around with. I know this was confusing to me the first time. And as you can see, it was even confusing today when I tried to show it again. But when you play around with it, you'll see how it affects your search. And that's really what this is all about, playing around with it, practicing with it. Because listening to me is not going to do it. It's when you go into some of your photos, you have keywords on them, you have all sorts of metadata to search on, and you'd find them. Now, if I said osprey, witchmere, and let's see, is it R6? I think that would work. It comes back and says 128. But if I said all three, well, that contains all, that's pretty good. Okay. But if I said contains, it's 15,106. That's because almost all of my photos are taken, recently with my R6, Canon R6. So in the metadata, it's going to find that under camera. So it includes those pictures. If I said contains all, it goes way down. There's 128. But that makes sense because almost all the pictures I took of ospreys at Witchmere Harbor were with my R6. So those show up there. But that's how quickly you can do some little changing around using the text fields. Okay. Text is very powerful, but I don't use it that much, and I'll show you why. Okay. So that's really how you deal with text searches. You say any searchable field, or you pick a specific field to look at, and you can do that. And then you decide, do you want it to contain all these words, or does it start with the words, or does it end with the words? And then you put in your search criterion, osprey or witchmere or whatever it is you want to look for. I find this a little bit cumbersome compared to some of the other things that we're going to take a look at now. So I probably shouldn't have even spent that much time on it, because I'll show you what I mean in a second. You'll see. So let's go to, I cleared all those, and I'm going to do, attribute. Attribute lets you say, let me search on particular flags. So you have a picked flag or a reject flag. I don't even know that I have it. I do. I have 2 reject flags. So those 2 photos I marked as rejected. And you know how to do that. If you're looking through your photos and you see one you don't like, you can hit the letter X. It marks it as rejected. Doesn't delete it or anything, just marks it as rejected. So you can go back later and say, I don't even like this. I'm just going to delete it from my Lightroom catalog. If you wanted to select picked, flicked and that now it's including both, because I didn't uncheck rejected. So if you see down the bottom, it says 589 photos have been selected as either rejected or picked. So if I if I unmark this one, the flag that says rejected, it should go down by 2, right? Because I had 2 pictures that were rejected. So if I uncheck that right now, goes from 589 down to 587. So you can kind of, sanity check. You can see that it's working. So under attributes, you can select the picked flag or the rejected flag. I'm going to uncheck those both. You can also check whether a photo has been exported or ones that have not been exported. So if I say exported, down below, it tells me that I've exported 2,400 out of the 40,000 photos that I've got. So 2,400 were exported at one point or another. That can sometimes be helpful. Okay, I'm going to uncheck that now. Now, edits. You can check here and say, show me all my edited photos, or maybe more importantly, my unedited photos. So unedited photos are 31,000. Well, that's because most of my photos are very old, or a lot of them are very old, and they haven't been edited. Or you just know that when you go in, sometimes you don't even, you still keep the photos in Lightroom, but you really, I don't really think I want to edit this one, spend a lot of time on it, either because you've taken 10 shots of the same thing and you've got a much better one to work on, or you're just not interested in that photo. So this can tell you either how many do you have that have been edited, how many that have not been edited. If I click on, well, unclick the unedited one, and the ones that I've edited are 4,600 out of the 40,000. Okay. So these are, and again, these are all the attributes that we can check here. We can check the rating. If it's equal to, all right, let me go back. You want to have all of the photos that are 1 star or 2 stars or 3 stars, or even let's go way up to 4 stars. Still got a lot of photos that I think are 4 stars. Boy, I'm pretty proud of myself. You can also do rating is equal to 4 stars, just changing this flag. All rating is less than or equal to, or is greater than or equal to. So if you say 1 star, but you change it to it's greater than or equal to, then all of the photos that I've rated are about 2,000. So I've rated them either as a 1, 2, 3, or a 4. Okay. And obviously you can combine all of these. I can say, what are the 4 stars and equal to 4 stars. Did I just do that right? Yep. Equal to 4 stars that I have exported. There you go. But those are the 4-star photos that I've exported, or 4-star photos that I've edited. There you go. There's different ones. These are all kind of convenient for various reasons. All of a sudden you come up with some question about which ones have I exported? And then I could find out, where did I put all these, or any number of reasons why you would want to do this. But you can also do, whoops, I want to just get rid of the stars. And by the way, if you're up to 4 stars or 2 stars or 3 stars, and you say, I just want to get rid of that filter, click on one and then click on it again, and it'll make that go away. So it's not looking at stars anymore. So moving on to colors. Remember I talked about you can take a photo. In fact, I think I've got one in here, 1 or 2 in here. So if I click on red, there are photos that I marked as red. Okay. Very interesting. I think that might be a red folder. I bet you that's what that is. No, I thought I had a red folder in here. So, but you can see the red around the picture. That means, I'm pretty sure that means that the picture has been marked as red, but you can also mark a folder as red. So for example, I come in here, Snowy Owl on a Porch, and I say, add a color label to the folder and make it red. Okay. Now if I go back to my full Monty here, and I say, attribute, and I say red. Sweet fancy Moses. Oh, I took it off. That's what I did. Okay, so now I'm at a loss again. This has been a good thing so far. Is anybody checking the number of lies that Donald McGrory told today on this? It's unbelievable. I'm not quite sure why this one gets just a border around it, and then this one gets
Did you click on that one for a second?
this one?
The one that's, I didn't know if it was, yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's
Fine.
it. That's exactly right. Oh, thank you. Good work. Good work, Betsy. So if I click off on, if I don't click on either one of them, they show a bolder red, a wider red. But if I click on the photo, it just highlights it in red. So those two photos, jeez. So those two photos have been marked as red. I assigned that color to those two photos, okay? And again, if I were to come in here and make this one red. There is the color label, and I make that red. And now I go back up here. Okay, and I go to attribute. Come on, and I say there, and I just added that one. It's in there now. Okay, so I've got 3 photos that have been labeled as red. We talked about that before, and sometimes people, why would you mark a photo red? Well, it's another way for you to search on photos. It can be, these are the greatest photos I've ever seen, or these are, these are the best pictures of a particular person, or just whatever it might be that you think is a convenient way to you to mark these photos as something that you can't do it with a 5 stars or 4 stars, but whatever it might be, a foggy day. Whatever you want to do, you can mark a photo as a color and then search on that. So it gives you an additional
Can I
way.
ask a question?
Yep.
Can I ask you a question? Do you know if it's possible to change the intensity of those colors?
I don't know. But I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because the yellow and green sometimes are kind of close, or
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But let's see. There's also a custom color. No, that doesn't do it. A lot of places they'll allow you to create a custom color for yourself. Other label, I don't know. No label, none. Okay, none. I'm gonna make it none. But anyway, you can use that as a filtering device. The final thing that you can do is select particular types of files. So if it's an original photo, you can click on that and it will show you your original photos. If you click on this, it's a virtual copy. So get rid of those and show virtual copies. I didn't realize I had quite that many. I have quite a few where I made a copy of it. I just said, make a virtual copy. I play around with it and then I usually delete the virtual copy because it's just so I can play around, so I can be ready for my classes and stuff. And finally, you can do videos. Okay, come on, videos. See, these are all videos. That's not videos. Oh, I left that in there. Okay. I got one video. Perfect. So there we go. Lightroom has whole bunches of ways to do it, but the one that I like the best is simply, I'm going to click to none so that there's nothing checked. Right now, I'm going to go to metadata. This is the one that you really will probably find is the most useful. It's the most helpful, it's the most flexible, and it's the easiest to use, okay? You have, right now I've got 5 columns, right? So I can have, I could add another column in here just by clicking, and I can put it anywhere. I can click on any of these right at the top right of each column. I click on that little marker there, and it'll add a column to the left or to the right, or remove this column. So I could say, remove this column. All right, now rating's gone. And then I can come back in here and say, add a column to the right. And I can come back in here and make this something. and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So you can have as many columns as you want. You can add another column over here to your right again and make, I think you can do up to 8 columns if you wanted. Now, that means that you're trying to filter on a combination of all of these filters, right? So it's probably not likely that you're going to get up much more than 4 or 5, let's say. And 4 or 5 is actually very useful. So I had what I have here, rating. So if I click on the column header on any one of these, you get the whole list of things that you can select to filter on in this column, in this particular column. So I think I had what, rating in there? Yep. Okay. So now I have GPS data, label, keyword. Let's do another one. Did I have camera up there? Nope, didn't have camera up there. So I'll put that in there. Okay, so those are the photos that I have. Mostly, obviously, the Canon R6. But all of the photos in here have been shot with any one of these photos. Good Lord. Who's been taking pictures in my house? Said Goldilocks. But anyway, I don't even like that. I'm going to change it to something else. Lens, let's say. Okay, still be 1,000. So you can see, yeah, but you can see that you can filter on any of the lenses you've taken. Which ones have I taken with telephoto lenses? So I'm going to do, let's see, location. All right, that's interesting. Wow. Wow. That's very interesting. I like that. All right, let's leave that. We're going to do that. All right. Unknown location, mostly unknowns. So you can have as many columns as you want, up to 8. You can delete these columns if you don't like them, if you just want to see certain things. But there will be no filter action as long as you say all 66 locations or all 2 labels. It means you're not really filtering on that column. So sometimes you say, well, just let me look at all of the dates, but I want to change the keywords to something. Okay, so you could filter on dates just by clicking on 1904. There's 21 pictures. Those really aren't 1904. Okay, we all know that. I'm not that old. So if we come down here and look in here, we see, all right, I just want to do the year 2000. Well, okay, I click on the year 2000. Okay, those are all my photos from 2000. I bet you, oh, I can do that. I've got a couple from each month. So I could click on just June, just August, or June and August. So it's very easy to click in here and update the number of things that you're looking at by adding dates, subtracting dates in here. A lot of times I'm just coming in saying, just show me all my dates. And then look at keywords. So you can come in here and let's not do keywords for now, because that just gets out of control. Here is, I put the label, right? So before I said red. Okay. And the reason I think there's a lot more red than I showed before was because I think I had some leftover attribute. Let me just do this very, very, very quickly. Okay, click on red. There we go. I had left edits checked before, and now I have 22. Okay, so I'm missing one. That's fine. But I was wondering why I didn't, when I showed red before, I've got red here, all labels. I've got 22 here. When I click on this, I should get the same amount. Sometimes I confuse myself. Let's go back to metadata. And that's really where we want to be. And I want to turn this off. But you can see that if I mark 3 stars here, this stays, even though I'm in metadata, it's still, I can combine these with the attributes down here. So I'm combining 2 sets of filters. That's why I like to stick to metadata alone, because if you're just looking at metadata, You know, you can start by saying, okay, let me just say none. I want no filters. Okay. Now I've got no filters set. Then I go back to metadata. And now I know that these are the only ones that are set. Okay. That had to be confusing because all of a sudden, why are things changing? Well, because I had changed something in attribute and it remains there until I turn it off. So by clicking on none, you clear all your filters and you click on metadata, and now you know that's just what you're looking at is the filters in here. So GPS is a good one. I always have coordinates on all my newer photos. I don't have coordinates on the old ones because some of those are so old, I don't even know where they were taken. I don't even know what country they were in. So there's a lot of photos that have no coordinates on them. So, you know, if I click on no coordinates, right, and I come over here to one of these photos and okay, let's see. Okay, almighty. Click on that one and I go to metadata and you'll notice that GPS is blank. Why didn't it? Oh, okay. So that means I did not put a coordinates on this one. If I click on coordinates that only have coordinates and I come over here, now you see that the GPS coordinates are on there. So I like to make sure that I have coordinates on all of my photos because they'll show up in the map module, which I kind of like. And I'd like to show you a little bit about that in a few minutes, if possible. So if I don't have them, I add them as soon as I get home. You know, in other words, if I don't have my iPhone with me or I don't have my iPhone connected to my camera to mark the GPS coordinates on the photo itself, then when I come home, I can go into the map and put them on there, and then I have them all. Okay. So again, you can update columns. You can have anything you want. You can change these at any time. Don't want label. I have keywords in there already. I want something, I want an aperture. I want to see any that I took with f1.5. You can do any of this kind of stuff. You can do, you can combine these. So you want any of those that have coordinates in them, and that's going to change what you've got. And now you say, all right, it has to be at least 1 star. So each time you change one of these columns from not filtering on anything to filtering on something, you should see fewer and fewer photos. It's a much easier way to narrow down what you're looking for. And so this is where I spend most of my time, is using the metadata and picking the columns that I want. Now, if you see up here, it says custom filter, that's because I've been changing things left and right. It means I haven't saved anything here. But just like presets for your imports or presets for other things, you can create presets for the search bar. Now, I've got one I did this morning, called TM default, and I'll show you how I did it. But if I click on TM default, those are the things that I usually look at. I look at dates, keywords, ratings, labels, and GPS data. Okay. So now I can look at what are the reds. There's the reds, there's the, there are all 22 of them. If I wanted to look at, let's see, I come down here, come on. There we go. And I come down to people. And because I put people in here, I can put in, let's see, let me find Jan in here somewhere. If I could spell, there we go. So See, I like my wife. 2,555 pictures of her. So I've got all these pictures of Jan. Well, now that's very helpful. Now I can search within the photos of Jan and say which ones have unrated. How can that possibly be? No. Well, I could do this. 1 star, 2 stars, 3 star. I don't have any 5-star ratings of Jan. That's impossible. Okay, I'm going to ignore that for now because something's going on there. So which ones did I flag? Well, maybe I flagged them because I liked them. It is a good picture, Jan. So these are all ones that I flagged and said, these are good pictures, or I wanted to use them for something. You know, I might be putting them in a little slideshow or something like that. So I can pick them out. Now I've got them all. I've got, how many do I have? 157. Okay, so now I can pick from those and say, these ones I want to put in a slideshow, or I really want to find the great ones and put those in. Here's one I clearly don't want to put in anywhere. That was after a couple of martinis, I think, up in New Hampshire, and Jan tried on. They came down. Diane and Jan came down with the red lips on, and the other guy, Tom, and I looked at them and thought, we have to go into town now. We're leaving you guys here. Anyway, I'm digressing. Of course I am. So this is probably the place you want to spend your time. Pick the ones you know, set the parameters that you want to search on, and then you've got, oh, see now, it changed to unrated. I was going to show you something different, but it changes to unrated. When I had default, I had rating in there. Now you can see that that's my favorite set of filters. But if I decided I wanted to do some camera stuff and I made it camera and lens and a few other things, you notice it changed it to unrated. So I don't have a name for this particular set of parameters. I can come in here and say, save the current settings to a new preset. And I could say TM camera. Okay. So now if I was doing something where I wanted to see what camera I used and what lenses I used, I would select this one. And then I'm all done with that one. I want to go back to my regular one. I click here on TM default, and then it switches back to keywords and ratings, which I usually use. So you can use those. You can create as many settings as you want based on the different parameters that you want to look at particular times. So you're going to do that when you find that, gee, I'm always coming in here and changing it back to keyword and rating, or I always put these settings on, but then you change a column name for some reason. Well, it'd be nice to be able to just go up here and say, all right, Betsy favorites, you know, and you have your favorite settings there. Okay. So that is pretty much what I wanted to get across in the filters. This is probably the one you'll use the most. If you use this and kind of get used to it a little bit, and what the columns are doing, play around with it, then you'll create your own set of default settings or just favorite settings, and you'll find that you're in here all the time. This is where you go to find whatever you're looking for, you can find in here. And don't forget, it's going to pick them. It's going to pick the photos to display based on what you have for settings over in your folders. So if you have all your photos picked, it's going to show you 39,000. If you just say, I just want to see what I've done in the past year, click on 2025. There's 653 photos. So it will show you those, and that same filter sits there. Oh, I didn't lock it. So do you notice that it disappeared? It didn't do TM default. Okay. Whoops. So watch. TM default. I like those. Okay. So right now I've got this open. If I change the folder, notice it goes to filters off. Okay, say, well, why did it do that? I wanted it at default. Okay. All right. So come on. So I click on lock. And now as I move around to 2024, to anything else, it saves that. It doesn't switch the default setting here. That makes sense. So this is the one I usually like, and I like to keep it, so I lock it. Okay. If I unlocked it, it would change when I moved from folder to folder. If I lock it, it'll stay at TM default. Okay. How many of you guys use this a lot? I mean, do you use this? Do you use this at all, or do you use? You just kind of rummage through your folders and look for pictures, or?
I go by my folder names and then keywords for the most part.
Okay, so this is going to help you to do that because you can select whatever folders you want. We can select the whole thing and then come in here and go by dates or go by keywords or combinations or ratings or whatever it is you're looking for. Keyword is usually what you go to because you're going to say, well, you know, I'm looking for osprey or whatever it is.
Right.
You come in there and put that in there as your search.
I'm not that far along, Ted, so
Yeah.
I'm learning, watching what you're doing,
Okay.
what the options are. Yeah.
Starting to put keywords in is really a great way to do this. You know, starting the next time you come in, and you know, and I'll readily admit that I'm terrible. I don't do keywords right away, and I really should. I should come in, input my photos, put my GPS coordinates in, throw out the pictures I don't want, and then add keywords. And you can add we saw with keywords, you can bulk load those keywords. You could select all your photos where you've just taken 50 pictures of an osprey and click on keyword and just add, you could say osprey to all of these and it will put osprey as a keyword in all of those photos as long as you select them all, right? So if you do that, you're going to be way ahead of the game because you can start to select photos based on the keywords that you add. And you can put as many or as little as you want. I will always say that you don't really want to go overboard. I watched one video where the guy was putting in, he brought up a picture of a monastery in Thailand with these monks. And he's putting in almost every color that was in the photo. So put red, there's red in there, and there's blue in there. And I thought, that'll take you a million years. And then you're still looking for a needle in a haystack because when you put in red, I bet you there's more than one picture that has red in it. So, yeah, then you say Thailand monks, that's probably going to narrow it down pretty much too. So it can be helpful, but start simple is the moral of that story is start simple. Put in birds, then put in ospreys and, then add to them. But, that's how you get to a point where you can really find things very quickly. And using this function, I think, is the best way because, if you're looking through your folders and you see the titles are, you did see kids or you did see osprey in there, you still have to go in there and look at the photos to say, are these the ones that I thought I was like, no, that was the year before. And so coming in here to the filter bar, you have, as I say, when you come over here and you type in, you've got all of your dates right in front of you. So you come down to the bottom, I forget if you can reverse search this, ascending or descending. So if I say descending, that will put the ones at the top, okay? So now here now my date is the latest one, 2025. So I can say, all right, well, let me just look at March. Is it in there? No, I don't know. I don't see it yet. How about February? And so you can kind of scroll through very quickly doing that, just the dates. But then you come over and you say, what do you want in there? Well, whatever you put in for keywords, ospreys or whatever it is. So play with this you can't break, well, I say that, but then I've been proven wrong by users before. But you can't break anything by coming in here and playing with this set of parameters. Just change them, change the columns, get rid of some of the columns, just work with 2 or 3 columns if you feel more comfortable with a smaller population of pictures. Okay. I think that gives you enough to get started. I think if you start working in there and adding some keywords and then using this as your default way to find your photos, then you're going to be a lot better off. Okay, so try that. I did want to spend just a couple of minutes on the map. I know, Ro, I know you got to go, but if you want to stick around, if you don't have anything pressing for the next 15 minutes or so, I'll show you how the map works and how it's pretty cool. Okay, there's a lot of things you can do in there. So, any questions before I jump into map before you go off of search?
No,
Okay.
not from me.
Okay, good. I apologize. So when you watch some of the videos, they can filter out all of the missteps that they make in there when they're doing their videos. I'm live. This is like the the Johnny Carson show. I can't back out of it. I do something and it comes up all wrong and I say, what the heck did I just do? So I apologize for that because sometimes that can be confusing. But anyway, let's move on to map because it is pretty cool. Okay. Let's go to map. Why is that not showing up, by the way, at the top? Oh, I know why, because it's this. There we go. Okay. So first thing you've got to remember is I'm going to turn off the search by, well, I can leave that on. Doesn't matter. I'm going to take 2025. That's what I want to look at is my 2025 pictures, which is 650 pictures. So, there's all the pictures I've taken in 2025. Now I can, if I want to filter further on this, I can say over here, no coordinates. That means these photos have no coordinates. There's 400 of them. Oh, that's pretty cool. Now I can go to the map and I've got all the folders, the photos down here that don't have coordinates on them. So I just, without doing anything really, I said, where are the pictures from 2025 that I haven't marked with coordinates yet? Great. So now I go to my map. Now, how many, by a show of hands, who's worked in the map at all? Okay, so nobody. So that's kind of cool. Hi, Gia. So I'm going to go to map and it shows you absolutely nothing, does it? Why is that? Well, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Select all. Oh, well,
Because you have no data.
because I said, show me the ones that don't have coordinates.
That's
So
right.
that's the ones that don't have coordinates, all of them. Okay, so, oh, yeah, losing my marbles here. This, because I can see these, you can't see these, but I know these are all in my backyard, right? And I click on those. Now those are selected. And I want to mark those with coordinates. Very simply, I come over here to where I live, whoops, from the satellite, and this is where I live. I live right on, oh, sorry. Where'd I go? There I am, sorry. I don't know where I live. I'm lost. Here's Oak Street, here's Main Street. This is my house, right? Oh, I'm sorry, good Lord, I
Yeah,
gotta go past the bike path. Here's my house, I promise you. Okay, so if I right click on this, I say add coordinates to the selected photos. Those all disappeared from the bottom because those now have coordinates. So I can go through each of those and see what they, if I know what they are and where they are, I can do that. But there's another way I can do it too. Okay, so let me go back to the library section. And I can select these two photos. I selected those two. And we want to watch when we go to map. You see those two are selected down the bottom, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You see they're in white?
Yep.
I created a saved location. I called it home. That's my house. So I select those two. Now, sometimes you're at Bell's Neck and you've taken 100 pictures. So you select all 100 from that session. You come to the map and you click in the little box to the left of home, and you'll watch that should go up to 78. Okay. It adds those two photos to the location that I just selected. So it's very easy to put these in there. Okay. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can do this, whole bunches of different ways. So you can play around with this, but the easy way is to go to your library, try to get as much, if you want to select certain ones, you change it to, let's see, January and Thursday. Oh, that's not a good one. Okay, so this, I've got 28. These all have coordinates on them. But let's just go to the map and let's select all of these. Whoops. Okay, I've selected them all. I'm going to go to the map. This is Coldbrook Reservation on Bank Street. And it tells me that all 28 were marked, and that's where they are. Okay, so if I said, well, that's kind of cool. That's shows me where I took those. So I didn't do I didn't change anything because they were already marked with coordinates, right? If I go back to the library and I look at the metadata for these guys, they all have GPS coordinates. So if I click out of there, deselect, is it D? Edit, undo selection, okay. Select none, okay. So if I click on one of these, they all have coordinates. So that's why they showed up on the map. If I select all of my photos and I select all of the dates, and I go to the map and I zoom out, watch what happens. Those show me all of the photos that I've taken, where I took them. Now, you say, well, that's pretty cool. Well, yeah, but how do I know what the heck is in Yarmouthport or over in here? Well, watch. If I hover over it, it gives me a little view and I can scroll through the pictures that I took there. This is handy.
That's pretty cool.
That is
It is,
very
yeah.
handy. So all it means is that you put GPS coordinates on your photos. And once you start doing this, honest to God, it takes no time at all. So let's say I come in here and I say, I was out at Notre Dame. Oops. Oh boy, if I could spell, I'd be much better off here. Notre Dame, Indiana. I say go. Just all I did was hit return. It found it. It found Notre Dame, Indiana. That's where I went last fall, went to a football game, and that's where I took all these pictures. I could scroll through these and see which, what did I, yep, that's the one. That's the right road, Notre Dame. By doing this, by putting something in there, I can put in, that's an obvious one, right? Type that in. Oh, for crying out loud. Come on. Bell's Neck. I type in Bell's Neck. It finds even like conservation areas. It finds street names. It finds towns. It finds anything. So let's say you went to MIT and oh no, the Smithsonian Institute. So you wanted to go to the Smithsonian Institute, take 100 pictures, 1,000 pictures. You come home and now you want to put coordinates on them because you forgot to turn your connection on in your camera. So you type in Smithsonian Institute, hit return, and it's going to bring you to Washington, D.C., show you all where the buildings are, and you can click on the pictures that you took and drop them into the individual museums. Okay. That is pretty darn cool. You have access to all of the places that you've been, all of the places you took pictures, and you can scroll through. There's the ones I took in Philly. There's the ones I took in Washington, D.C. And you can put them in there so quickly. Once you get used to this, play around. When you go to map, right? Create some saved locations like your house, like Bell's Neck, or like Bank Street Beach if you go there a lot. Create the location. So let's go here. If I wanted to go to Bell's Neck and I'm way over here and I don't want to scroll up and down and all around, I can go to here. I just click on that little arrow and it takes me there. That saved location is kind of cool, right? It takes you right to where you were, and there's all those photos that I took in Bell's Neck. But now I say, all right, I want to create a thing called, no, I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to say, all right, here I am at Bank Street Beach. There's Red River. Is this Bank Street? That's Bank Street, right? Pleasant, Gray's Neck. Where am I? Where is Bank Street Beach? Oh, here it is. It's over here. There's Bank Street Beach. Okay. So because I don't have a saved location for it yet, because when I came into bought my new computer, I didn't have it. I should have saved it, but I screwed up. So I say, create it. I just hit the plus sign. And now it says, which I'm going to make Bank Street Beach. Okay. Say Bank Street Beach. Now, it's got a huge circle there. What if they say, well, that's really too big. I want a much smaller one. I grab the little dial it down or dial it bigger, whatever I want to do. I'm going to say that's actually still too big. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it smaller. Okay. Well, I could say create, but you notice it's not really on Bank Street Beach. I just grab it and by the center, just grab it and move it down. Now that's really where I want it to be, is right in there. That's the sweet spot. Okay. Now I have Bank Street Beach, and look at this. It already picks up the fact that there are 462 photos there. This is very, 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 very helpful. Okay. And it's very easy to do. So if I came in and I said, let's see, I think I might actually have a couple here. Yeah. This is, oh, no, come on now. Let's see. This was Bank Street Beach. Oh, no, that's actually Red River. No. I'm just going to throw it in there. I don't care. I'm going to put that one in there. Go to the map. And there's the one photo that I just marked. It's not correct. It's not the one that is on, you know what it is? It's on Red River. How's about that? Very quickly. Red River. Okay. Make it smaller. Whoops. Okay, create it. Okay. Now I've got Red River there, right? If I click on, I've got this photo. I'm going to click on, oh, yes. Yes, sure, why not? I'll find it and get rid of it. I added it into there. I should have 63 now, right? 63. Perfect. So you can create these on the fly, create this, and you've got it now. You've got a save location. So when you have come in here, you select a photo, and then you click on the if I delete that, delete the location, it knocked that one back off. So I'm going to put it back in the right place. So you can do that kind of thing too. You can knock off the location and then change it. But it's easy to just click on the saved locations for the things you take a lot of pictures at, like Bell's Neck or whatever.
So,
Have it
Ted,
saved. Yes.
yeah, Ted, I apologize for interrupting, but I do need to go now.
Sure.
And I
Understand.
want to thank you so much for offering this to us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And,
Oh, I know you got to go too, so I don't.
Said what Tessa said.
Yeah.
okay, well,
Okay.
take care.
Thank you.
All right, you're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. All right, I'll pretty much leave it at that. But Betsy, do you have any questions? As long as we're hanging around.
No, but it is interesting, and that yeah, I think I will definitely use these.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool because for just so many reasons. But let's assume you're going to Paris, right? So guess what happens? You have it. Have you got that app on your phone where you can because you can't do a direct GPS location from your camera. You have to connect it to a phone that has a satellite or a phone connection that can do that.
Yeah, okay.
So you've what do you got, a Nikon, or is that?
Yeah, I have an icon. Yeah.
So Nikon does have I'm pretty sure they have an app that you can download to your phone, and then you connect to your phone, and you just do it like Bluetooth, and since you get your phone in your pocket and your camera here,
Yeah.
it'll let you practice before you go to Paris, by the way.
Yes.
So every photo you take will be marked exactly where you took it. So when I came in here before and I showed you, let's just go back here, and you have all the photos, all 1700, and then you go back to map. Okay, you notice that you have like along here, you've got all of these. I keep going backwards, but you've got all these photos all over the place, right?
Mhm.
And if you were in Paris, you might have the same thing, even worse. You'd have
Right.
shots everywhere. But you say, well, where did I take that picture? That's when you come in and you say, oh, what did I take there? I took these 11 pictures. Was it
Yeah.
that, or that, Well, no, that's what it was. So that's helpful when you get back from those great trips. And you could say, there's where I took that picture from.
Mhm.
And sometimes when you're taking sunsets or sunrises or whatever, and you say, how the heck did I get that picture? Well, then you realize it was not, it wasn't right here. It was on this side of the pond that you
Right. Yeah.
pictured. Very helpful for that kind of thing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then obviously you can do stuff like Massachusetts and,
Sure.
show you what you get in Massachusetts. Well,
Yeah, that's great.
will work. So there you go. There's all the photos in Massachusetts.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So, all
That's
right. That's a wrap.
okay. Good job.
I know. Thank you. So I hope it helped. I hope
Yeah.
and it's too bad I couldn't edit all the recordings I've done, but I'm not that aggressive and energetic.
Yeah, that'll take twice as long.
Yeah, that'd take me another year. So
Yeah.
that's on that. All right. So that's about it. Thanks for being a student. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
well, thank you very much.
All right. So I could stop sharing.
There we are.
And I can also stop recording, which is stop recording.